become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was willing to let go
linking up to you.
everything and everybody. See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You're trying to carry everybody else through because you're trying to be Rescue 911. And you got to rescue you first.
You're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is.
You may have a lack of confidence because you just haven't been showing up for yourself. Your words have no meaning. We don't have to stay in the past. But we don't have to go too far into the future. In our mind, we come back to this present moment. We say, my presence is perfection and my presence is purpose. And yeah, I haven't been showing up for myself. Yeah, there's been a lack of accountability. But you know what? I have another step. I have another breath. And in this next step and then this next breath, I make change.
The quote goes like this: one day.
Okay.
One day. Or day one. How do you know what you're used to is better than the life that's to come? When things start evolving, when people start changing, when you start growing, oftentimes if we've had a set of great experiences in our past, when it says, how do you know the life that you are used to is better than the life that's to come? And so when you think about the life that's to come, new normal, right? A transition, having to pivot, having to make different decisions, having to make a new career choice, having to close the door and the chapter on another career. How do you know the life that you're used to is better than the life that's to come, right? Embrace it. It goes together. One is glorious, one is rich, right? It goes together, man. And when you feel the highest pressure, the highest stress, and the highest anxiety, when you're in the pursuit of something greater, it's a good indication that you're actually on the right path. It's a position that you want to actually be in, because once you push through this time of extreme stress, pressure, and anxiety, on the other side is the promised land that you've been looking for.
The biggest mistake a person can do right now, no matter in which situation you are, is to give up. You might not reach the best version of yourself in this lifetime, but a better one than you are right now.
Have got to decide what it is that you want the future to look like. And the more specific and the more clear you are, the more likely it's going to happen. The more you understand of what that moment is that you're trying to create and how you're trying to create it, and then you now can build the plan and the strategy to get there. Now you look at that end and the result and what you want it to be and how you're going.
This is how we took this 3,000 view video and got our client 200,000 views.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, you guys can hear me. All right, that is good news. That is good news to me. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining in from. Super excited to be having our free monthly masterclass. I love our masterclasses. So how's everyone doing? I'm Eva, of course, you guys know me. I'm Eva in, where am I located? In Toronto, Canada. Yeah, so it's actually 10:59 right now in Toronto, Canada. It's going to be 11 o'clock in a minute. So in the chats, let me know how you guys are feeling, how you guys are doing. How is your trading going for those that are already trading? How is life going? How's everything? Let me know in the chat, like, how are you feeling? I hope things are going well in your life in general, like your life P&L. I hope your life P&L is going okay. I hope your trading P&L is looking good as well. Let me know in the chat how you guys are feeling. Stressful. I just started learning to trade. I can feel that. It can be stressful when you start. I'm feeling great, and trading has been good. That's good. That's good. 2 losses this week. Well, that's okay. It's okay to take losses as long as you understand why those losses happened, then you're good to go. I'm okay. Life is going well. I just started trading. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's beautiful to see that young people are taking control of their financial future. Like, now is the time to. That's okay. Oh my God. Why? Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, so it's great to see that young people are taking control of their financial future at such a young age, because now is the time for you to take certain risks, such as learning how to day trade, right? So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Also, let me know where you guys are joining in from. Let me know where you're joining in from, your city or country. Just put that in the chat real quick so I can have an idea. I'm also live on YouTube, so also share this because we're going to be dropping a lot of nuggets today, okay? I know a lot of you guys love to trade gold. I feel like gold is like the sweet spot. It's like in between currencies and indices. It's like, it's like at the sweet spot of our trading, right? So I'm going to be dropping a lot of tea to help you guys um make more money from gold, essentially. I'm also live on YouTube, so share this with anyone you think would benefit from this free class. I don't know why the YouTube, what's the thing now? The YouTube resolution or quality is so poor. I cannot seem to figure that out for some reason. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi, because I have like a ton of devices on this one Wi-Fi. Maybe I need to fix that. Okay, so some people mentioned that they're located in Scotch, joining from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, United States. Okay, that's nice. Lagos, Nigeria. I love you guys in Nigeria. Nina, I believe this is Nina from IG. Hi, Nina. How are you? Opara. I think you're the one. Hi. That's awesome. That's awesome. It's beautiful to see that young. Okay, this audio is. Like Okay, my apologies. I just needed to pick something real quick. Okay. So as we were saying, okay, we have someone joining from Jamaica. I believe this is New Jersey, United States, Jamaica. Okay. Welcome, my traders. Oh yes, it's Nina from IG. Hi, Nina. I see you, girl. I see you, believe me. Lagos, Nigeria, Jamaica. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So from our YouTube chat, we have people joining in from Ghana, Kenya. Is this DRC? If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Dominican Republic, I think. That's awesome. I love to see it. Listen, you guys have to take advantage of these free masterclasses, okay? Because remember, it's not going to last forever, and a lot of resources actually go into me being here with you guys on a Saturday like this, right? So we're going to get into the masterclass. It's going to be quick, straight to the point, and give you guys your tea so you can go enjoy your beautiful Saturday, okay? So we have people joining from Nairobi, Kenya, Nigeria. Wow, that's awesome. Oh, DRC is Congo. Oh, my apologies. Dominican Republic of Congo. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, people joining from Congo, Togo. Wow, Ireland, Tanzania. That is absolutely beautiful. It's lovely to see you guys like being so dedicated to these master classes. Like I absolutely love it. Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, my mistake. I didn't know that. Okay, Korea. Wow, people joining from Korea. That's amazing. I see all of you guys. Mississauga, Canada. Oh my goodness. Welcome, my Canadian people. I'm actually in Mississauga every single weekend, actually. Like every weekend I am in Mississauga. Fun fact. So welcome. Zambia, Gambia. Wow. That's great. I love all of you guys. You guys make it definitely worth it to be doing this free monthly masterclasses. Yeah, so okay. That's amazing. So again, share this. You can either share the YouTube live stream or the Zoom link to anyone you think would benefit from the master class, okay? Yeah, so, okay, so let us actually get started. It's 11:07, so we're just going to hit the nail on the head today, and so we can go enjoy our Saturdays, okay? So we can go enjoy our beautiful Saturday. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. And my screen is actually on this other side. So if you see me looking this way, then I am looking at the actual slide that I'm sharing. Did I actually share it? No, I did not. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me know in the chat if you guys can see my screen. Let me know in the chat if you can see my screen. Okay, welcome everyone that's just joining in. We're just going to go straight into the topic for today, which is gold price action mastery. Okay, so we have multiple people joining from multiple locations across the world that I didn't even know we're reaching. I really appreciate all of you guys being here, okay? And I see all of you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I just saw a name. Tosin Ajayi. I'm sorry for calling you out like this, but I actually sent you an email and I'm waiting for a response from you. Please check your email and please respond to my email. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go along. All right, so I believe you guys can see my screen. Yes, you can see it. Yes. All right. Okay, so if you don't have a question, please just stay muted so that the audio can be smooth. Okay, so our topic for today is gold price action mastery. So first of all, what do I mean by gold? Gold is an instrument that we trade, right? Which is XAUUSD on some brokers. Some brokers just call it gold spot or just gold, right? So we're going to understand what exactly gold is and how we can trade it properly, okay? Okay, so since you can't see my screen, we're going to go ahead with our slide. So this is our free monthly masterclasses that we're hosting, brought to you by Chart Nation FX. I'm Eva. I'm the founder and CEO of Chart Nation FX. This platform was created to help equip traders with the proper tools, knowledge, and materials or resources for retail traders to excel in the financial markets. Because I deeply believe that the financial markets can be used as a very, very important tool to reach financial freedom. I personally do not believe that you should exchange your time for money per se, like just like living your life based off of 9 to 5. Listen, if you're about that life, it's fine, but not everyone can climb up a corporate ladder and all of that, right? I am a professional myself. However, day trading is my thing, right? And this is basically the path that I am completely focused on. And I'm here to assist everyone that is on a similar path as I am, right? So like I said, the financial markets is a very important tool that individuals can use to attain financial freedom, right? And there's a lot of it that we don't know, especially in our society, being either you're an immigrant or being in your home country or wherever you are, it's not as known as it is in the Western world, right? But as a retail trader with the right parameters, the right skill set, you can excel in the financial markets. It doesn't matter the market you're trading, whether it's Forex, commodities, indices, equities, futures, stocks, whatever you're trading. The financial markets can be used if you have the right information. So I am trying my best to bring that information into our community. Okay, so I hope that is clear to understand why exactly it is I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm Eva, founder and CEO of Chart Nation FX. Chart Nation, like I said, it's an educational platform. So today we're going to be focused on gold. All right, so our agenda for today is, first thing, we're going to understand what exactly gold is, what makes gold move the way it moves, because for the last couple of months, gold has made some serious moves, right? So we need to understand why that is happening so we can trade it excellently. Okay, so moving on, then we're going to look at the technical aspect of gold, and then we're going to be talking about our intensive mentorship program that is going to be beginning in 10 days. All right. Gold. So first thing we need to understand is that gold is real, okay? I see the question in the chat. If you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. As we go along, I will answer those questions, okay? So the first thing you need to understand is that gold is real. The thing we're seeing on the chat, XAUUSD, is not just some figment of an imagination or just some form of thing that we trade. Like, it's real. The thing we're trading on the chat is the actual real gold that they sell. Okay, so that's the first thing I need you to understand, so that you understand that it's not just about the candles and the market structure that you're seeing on the charts. We're trading the real, actual gold, just in digital formats, okay? And again, gold goes beyond the chart. That's the first thing we need to understand. Okay, so moving on, what exactly is gold? This XAUUSD that we see on our chart, we can see here gold spot versus US dollar brokers Rwanda, and we can see a price here, right? So gold, the XAUUSD that we see on the chart, where you see $2,323, that is the actual amount of US dollars that is required to purchase 1 ounce of gold. Okay, so it's the amount of US dollars that is required to purchase 1 ounce of gold. This is very important for you to note. And I'm heading somewhere. Okay, so stay tuned. Yeah, so XAUSD or gold versus the US dollar, that price that you see that the candles are moving and the chart is like doing stuff, that's the actual price of the actual physical gold that people purchase. The numbers that we see, that's 2000, whatever it is right now, that price is the price in US dollar that is required to purchase 1 ounce of gold. Now, we can also trade gold versus the Great British Pound. We can trade gold versus different currencies. However, we focus on gold versus the US dollar for a specific reason. And I'm going to explain what that reason actually is. Okay, so moving on, things to understand about gold, okay? There are a few things you need to understand about gold for you to trade it successfully, okay? So the first thing to note is that gold is a safe haven asset. Again, like I said, it is an actual physical thing that we are trading just in digital formats. So it's actually a safe haven asset. So far, is everyone understanding what I'm saying and hearing me clearly? Just let me know in the chat, okay? So gold is considered a safe haven asset. And basically, what exactly this means is, yes, we are. Okay, that's good. It means that gold tends to retain its value during times of uncertainty in the economy, right? For example, right now, we have a lot of uncertainty with interest rates skyrocketing, the wars that are going on. There's a lot of uncertainty. So gold XAUSD is seen as a safe haven asset. That's the first thing we need to understand. Now, secondly, gold has an inverse relationship to the US dollar, right? I know some of us actually know this, but just to reiterate, gold has an inverse relationship to the US dollar. So when the US dollar increases, gold, the price of gold reduces. And when the US dollar reduces, the price of gold increases. And there's a reason for that, okay? Okay, and thirdly, market influence. Gold has a huge market influence. So basically, when geopolitical events happen, such as conflicts in different nations and things like that, it affects gold, right? When there's like central bank policy changes, it affects gold. When there is interest rates, things like supply and demand, those are the things that affect gold. And those are the things that actually make gold move, right? When you see gold making new highs, is because of those things that are happening. Although we can identify it using our price action, but we just need to understand a bit of the foundation of what is happening on our charts, right? So we can trade better. Okay, so moving on. So one most important thing that we need to understand based on what is going on right now is conflicts, such as wars, have a direct impact on gold, right? So any war that you see happening is going to directly impact gold. Now, why exactly is this going to happen? How do geopolitical tension or conflicts or wars influence gold? So the first thing to understand is what we just mentioned, is the fact that number one, gold is seen as a safe haven asset. So what happens is when wars like that happen, investors look for a better and more secure place to place their money, right? Where a more secure location to invest your money. So they tend to remove their money from stocks and put it into a safe haven asset such as gold. Okay, so I hope I'm being clear. So geopolitical events tend to increase the demand for gold, and then that basically increases the price of gold. You understand? Okay, so moving on. Secondly, market uncertainty. So same concept, right? So when wars definitely affect the financial markets. So when wars like that happen, it leads to market uncertainty. Then people begin to look for a safer place to place their money, and they head to gold. And then impacts on the value of currencies. So geopolitical events, again, affects the US dollar. So you see how most people trade the gold versus the US dollar is because of the direct correlation, right? So when geopolitical events affect the US dollar, then that's going to affect gold. So, the US dollar going up, gold's going to go down. Then inflation. So same thing with inflation, right? So essentially, gold is seen as a safe haven asset. Whenever there's uncertainty in the economy due to multiple reasons, right now there is uncertainty in the economy, specifically the US economy, because of inflation and the war that's happening, right? So that is uncertainty. So that is going to lead to investors looking for a better place to place their gold. To place their money, and then they turn to gold, right? So far, does everyone understand what I have said? Let me know in the chat. Yes, okay. Yes, that's good. That's good. Okay, so this just needs to give us a foundation knowledge of why gold acts the way it does, right? It doesn't just like happen only because of price action. Price action is basically is reacting to what is happening in the economy. Yes, does this mean when USD falls, gold rises? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. They have an inverse relationship, right? However, and this is the tricky part. There are times when the US dollar could be going down and gold could be going down at the same time, right? But this is where we need to understand price action. So they go hand in hand. So even if we understand that there is uncertainty in the economy right now, we also need to understand that we still need to understand what is happening on the chart for us to place a trade, for us to speculate on the next move, right? Because we are not completely like investing in gold per se. We are just looking for small fluctuations in price. So you need to understand price action, even if you understand the basics of why gold moves the way it does, okay? So with that being said, we're going to go into the charts right now, okay? Okay, so I'm going to open up my charts, my gold chart. Okay, so this is gold. The current price of gold. First of all, let me know if you can see my charts, my trading view chart for gold. George Watson, please do you mind taking off the lines you have drawn on the screen? Please and thank you. And now another person has drawn a line on the screen. How do I take that on? Please take off the line you have drawn on the screen. Thank you very much. Okay, you can see it? Okay, that's good, that's good. So you guys can see my screen, my trading view screen. Okay, so now, right now, the current price of gold is what we see down here based on this particular broker, which is Owanda, which is a regulated and reliable broker. So their current price for gold is $2,327.20 in US dollars, right? Okay, so now I'm going to just show you guys a visual representation of what I just mentioned, right? The war with Israel and Hamas, it started in October last year. And since then, in October, this was October last year, this is around the time that the war actually began. And this is where the price of gold is right now. You see what I'm saying? When the war began, gold literally started to move, created some nice bullish structure, as we can see here, and literally just created brand new highs and continue to just go up, right? So this is something that we need to understand. So if we understand that, okay, there's a war going on, there's uncertainty in the economy, investors are going to look for a safer place to place gold, to place their assets. Why do I keep saying gold? A safer place to place their assets or to place their money, so they head into gold and purchase gold. So obviously, them purchasing gold will lead to a rise in the price of gold. That is exactly what we are saying here. So between is October last year and now, this is literally the period of since the war began, and gold has literally been creating new highs, right? So this is a visual representation of what I just explained to you guys. So now that we understand that the background or the fundamental aspects of gold moving, then we need to understand our charts, right? Because even if you have fundamentals, you need the charts to align for you to place a trade. Because remember, we're not looking for huge moves, or we're not looking to just like invest and stay in the trade forever. We're looking for small speculations in price, right? So this is where we then come onto the charts to start marking up our charts. So now let's take a look at gold price action. Okay, so based off of our previous master classes, in our previous master classes, we laid some very important foundation knowledge. We talked about understanding market trends in depth. It's not just understanding uptrend, downtrend, or higher highs, higher lows. You also need to understand what is happening on multiple timeframes to be able to decipher what the next potential move could be, right? So even if the daily time frame could be bullish, you could see that the 4-hour could be in a bearish move, and then 1 hour could be in a bearish move, and all of that and all of that. So you need to be able to understand that, okay, even if we are creating high highs and higher lows on the daily time frame, we could be in a temporary downtrend on the 1 hour time frame, and then we need to wait for price to basically settle and then continue for the daily uptrend move, right? So real quick, we're just going to review what has happened on gold since October last year. Okay, so first things first, we see here that this is basically when October began, and price literally found support at a previous area of support on the daily time frame. Okay, using your top-down analysis, like you guys know, you are supposed to start on daily time frame to identify the trend of the market, areas of support and resistance, supply and demand, and all of that, and the trend as well, right? Okay, so starting off here, we see that, okay, gold basically found support at a previous area of support on the daily time frame. So we're going to place our horizontal tool at that area. Next, we see kind of like a resistance here. So we see resistance, resistance, price broke out of the resistance. Whenever we see a breakout, we should be waiting for a retest. And price came back to retest and literally continue to the upside, right? So this is the importance of you understanding whatever strategy it is that you use, understanding price action, even if you use fundamental analysis. So far, so good. Is everyone feeling okay? Do you understand what I am saying? Just let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. Is the class recorded? I believe it is. It is. It should be recorded. But it's also live on YouTube, and the live would actually be it would be on YouTube after this, so you guys can rewatch at a later date or even share to other people. Let me check our YouTube chat to see what's happening. Okay, yeah, so we are also live on YouTube. Okay, understood. Yes, we understand. Yes, we understand. Yes, we understand. Okay, that is good. That is good. I'd like to know the time frame. This is actually the daily time frame on gold right now. What's the name on YouTube? It's Chart Nation FX on YouTube. Chart Nation FX. The class will be posted on YouTube after this, okay? Okay, yes. So back to the charts. Basically trying to explain to you guys the importance of understanding your charts, right? Even if you understand what is happening in the fundamentals, the chart actually needs to align for you to take a trade. All right, so yeah, so right now let's just review this move from October, right? And look at places we could have taken advantage of. So we're going to be marking up our areas of support and resistance first of all. So we found an area of resistance, then turn support. We have an area here of resistance. We have price resisted. It kind of resisted at this point, this point, this point, this point, right? We put our line at that point as well. Then we have here, price basically wicked and dropped down, which was basically a resistance. Then it turned into support again, right? And then right now we have gold just chilling in this zone up here. So we're going to mark out this daily area of resistance. We have some indecision here. We have price taps this zone, tap, 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 and then skyrocketed. So now the next question is, what is going to happen next, right? What is going to happen next? I will let you know, because I am waiting for a move to take on gold for this coming week. So I'll let you know what I'll be looking at. Yeah, so on daily time frame, we are in a clear uptrend, right? We're in a clear uptrend. Then if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, yeah, so coming back to our October price action. Coming back to our October price action, right? So this is basically what we just saw, where price broke and retested that zone, came back for retest, and then skyrocketed. So this is what I mentioned. If you did not attend our previous masterclasses, you should go and rewatch, because it will create more context for you to understand what exactly it is I'm saying. So even if, again, on daily time frame, we were on an uptrend at the time, let me just use my bar replay tool to just wipe out the rest of the price action. Yeah, so even if, just for more context, I'll go down back to the daily time frame. Yeah, so this is what we're looking at on the daily time frame. So if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, then we'll see that, okay, even if we're bullish on daily time frame, price created bullish price action on 4-hour time frame, went a bit bearish, and then continued bullish, right? So this is why it's important for you to understand the long-term trend, short-term trend, medium-term, the long-term trend, medium-term trend, and short-term trend, right? We went in depth into that in the last masterclass, okay? Yeah, so understanding this will basically help you just with a combination of understanding that day time frame is in an uptrend, we're able to identify our area of interest. Next thing is we're going to wait for price to come down to our area of interest, wait for price to give us some sort of break of structure or bullish flip for price to continue to the upside, right? So this is a potential trade that someone could have taken advantage of in November and bagged for some December December enjoyment, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so so it's basically a combination of the fundamentals and the technicals, right? And if you continue, if you just like play the price action to see what's transpired on gold, keeping in mind that we are bullish, you could have found multiple opportunities to take advantage of on different time frames, depending on whatever strategy it is that you use, right? Okay, so far, does everyone understand what I'm saying? Does everyone get the point? Do you get the point?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay, thanks. Okay, so now that we understand what exactly the big picture is, let's look at the most recent price action that played out on gold in the last couple of weeks. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to exit the bar replay mode and just show you guys a couple of moves that personally I took advantage of, right? So basically what I personally do is I identify a good trend and take full advantage of it as much as I possibly can using multiple timeframes. That's what I do. Please, what timeframes can you use for scalping? Well, the lower timeframes, depending on your scalping strategy, but 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, if you're able to like think fast, right? Yeah. So for example, this particular move right here is something that I took advantage of in March. So let's look at that and see what exactly happened. So first of all, keeping in mind that we were bullish at the time, right? If we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you would see that price was kind of like chilling, kind of like trying to decide what to do next, And then it literally broke out of this nice trend line here. Whenever you see a breakout, the next thing as a trader that you should think of is a continuation. So where would price retest from, right? So you identify the areas that it broke out from and wait for potential for price to come to that area and then continue to the upside, right? Okay, so first of all, this is basically the demand zone that led to the breakout. So this is the demand zone that led to the breakout, right? So when you mark up your zones, you should label them. I label mine as 4-hour demand zone. I actually love 4-hour demand zones. They make me a lot of money. Okay. So you see that price came back to test the 4-hour demand zone. If we go down to the 1-hour time frame to watch the price action that was printing, we see that price literally just tapped and left the zone, right? So this is the move that you could have taken advantage of depending on whatever strategy that you use, right? So again, for more recent price action for the last couple of weeks, I did post, I believe I did, but I did post a few of my trades that I took in the last couple of weeks on my IG story, I think. Okay, I'm just going to exit the value plane. Yes. Okay. So when price actually got to this section, there was a bit of indecision and consolidation. Whenever price is doing something like this, I believe I did mention this in our playbook bundle, but if you're in an uptrend and you see price just chilling at a level of support, what you should be doing is you should be waiting for price to flip off of that level of support to continue bullish, right? So on the daily time frame, we can see here that this is a demand zone. Price failed to go lower than this demand zone and then broke structure on the 4-hour time frame. This was a simple textbook move that I caught the other day. Yeah. So this was the demand zone I just marked out, right? Price basically chilled for quite a while. I personally did not want to anticipate any move at this point. I just needed price to give me a clear move. I think I sent the trade in Telegram. So it broke structure, right? It broke this structure and came back to retest, right? So break and retest, that's like a very, very basic and money-making setup that you can add to your strategy. So it came back, retested, gave us some bullish price action and literally left, right? So if you look at this move right here, throughout this move, when price was basically giving us a clean trending market to the upside, if you go down, because this is the 4-hour time frame, right? Keeping in mind that we are bullish on the higher time frames, the 4-hour time frame is bullish. If you go down to the 1-hour time frame, I believe you'll be able to find multiple opportunities. So let's go down to the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, so we had some basic move on the 1-hour time frame. This was a clean break and retest, clean break and retest as well down here. Price came, this is a 1-hour demand. Price basically skyrocketed off of this demand, came back to retest and left as well, right? So yeah, so I hope this is clear. I hope you guys understand what exactly it is I am saying. Okay, let me check if we have any questions.
Okay, there is a lot of understanding, but can I ask one question?
Absolutely.
Okay, you said whenever you see a breakout, there is a continuation, but we should wait for a retest. How do you know the place where the market will come back and retest? In what time frame do you actually see that like properly?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that basically depends on the time frame of the breakouts, right? So let's go back to the chart. Okay, so for instance, let's take this off. Okay, so for instance, let's say this move, for example. So at the time whenever you see like a nice rally, right? This is a nice rally. Usually for price to continue higher, it would need to go down to a discounted area for more people to get into the move, right? So it will need to go down to a discounted area to then continue higher. So when you see a rally like this, the next thing you should do is mark out the place that it broke out from, right? Which is usually previous levels of support and resistance. So let's say this level, for example. So we see here, there was some indecision at this zone here, resistance, it became support at some point, it became resistance, it became support again. So usually price would come down to areas like this. We could have another zone up here. Okay, or we could have a demand zone down here. So whenever you see a rally like this, the next thing you should do is you need to identify the areas that you think price would potentially come back to react off of before continuing higher, right? I hope that answers your question. So something like this, I would mark out this first breakout zone. Price either retest off of this zone or retest off of this zone or retest off of this zone. Now, the next question is, how do you know which zone is most valid? The truth is, you don't know where price is going to react off of. It depends on the volume momentum in the market. Sometimes price would not even react. Like we saw for a while, gold did not create much price action. Down here, it literally just like left the station and did not come back, right? So even if you had marked out your area of interest at this point, price would have not come to your break and retest zone, like for example, this zone that we marked out here. And that is okay. You need to understand that that is okay for price to not come back to where you want it to come back to. What you just need to do is wait for the next best opportunity, right? That's another thing you need to understand as a trader. The market is not always going to do what you want it to do, but when it does what you want it to do, you better take advantage of it, right? That's the importance of having a playbook and mastering your playbook, right? So this right here is a classic playbook move, break and retest. The next question is, where's price going to retest off of? Then you mark out your areas of interest, which is exactly what we just did. When you mark out your area of interest, you wait for price to come back to those zones and retest off of those zones, and then, you know, get into the move and continue higher. So I hope that answers your question. Please do you need to mark for our zones? We've marked from daily zones. Yeah, you need to mark out your daily and 4-hour zones. You see how I have like different colors? I have different colors. I use the red for the higher time frames. I use this yellowish boxes for our zones, and then I have different color for my 5-minute demand and things like that. Yeah. So we did have an earlier question. Let me just go back to that question and answer it. Is backtesting mandatory if I am using candlestick chart patterns, trend line, supply and demand, support and resistance, etc.? Is backtesting mandatory? Listen, if you have not backtested your strategy and you're making money in the market, congratulations to you. But if you have a strategy, you absolutely have to backtest it. I cannot even overemphasize this. Backtesting gives you a level of confidence that you cannot get from a mentor. Backtesting gives you a level of experience that you cannot get from a mentor, right? Even if you are mirroring a person's strategy, you have to understand it. How do you understand it? Is by reviewing past market data. Exactly, like for example, what I just told you, you have to go and backtest it before you use it. Think of it like research and development. every company does their research, right? If they're going to roll out a new product, they have to do their research. As a trader, backtesting is your research. You have to research any strategy that, no matter what anybody tells you on YouTube, no matter what I say, before you use it, you have to go and test it out to be sure, right? Because even if, like I just told you, break and retest happens in different shapes, forms, sizes. It's not the exact same thing all the time. Like we just saw, on 4 time frame, had a nice rally, price came back to our area of interest, retested beautifully and went up. It does not happen that way all the time. It doesn't. That's why you have to backtest, so you can understand at least a few ways a break and retest move will happen. So you absolutely have to backtest any strategy that you're going to use. If you don't know how to backtest, I have already done that work for you. In my CN Playbook bundle, there is a backtesting workbook. There's a reason I labeled it backtesting workbook, because it is work. And it's actually a workbook where you have to fill in a lot of data about any strategy that you want to use, okay? So you better backtest is my point. Please backtest, please. Okay, next question. Yeah, if you want to backtest, you see this replay, bar replay, you just select this replay thing, and then you wipe out whatever period you want to backtest. That's how I did that. I did it. Are there free chart platforms where you can carry out backtesting? Well, personally, I just use TradingView. I'm not sure if I'm not really sure of other platforms. Like, I try not to stress myself. Like, I have TradingView, so I'm just going to use it. I believe there are other like replay. There are definitely other softwares that you can use. You can try them out. You can do some research on YouTube to see how people are using those platforms. Okay. Yeah. We need to subscribe to TradingView to do that. Okay, I believe you do. I'm not completely sure. I do have a TradingView subscription, but you really should, because this is your livelihood. Like, if you're a trader, you have to invest in your trading. The people that say you don't need money to like make money from trading, you need money to make money from trading. Okay, you need capital. It's just that the capital you need to get into trading is not the same as you need to get into e-commerce. It's just a lot less, right? But I believe I pay maybe like $15 or something like that a month. I'm not sure, but yeah. Is a TradingView a paid version? Yeah, it is. I pay a monthly subscription, but I'm not sure like what exactly like the features I get, but it's good enough for me. Yeah, so real quick, we're just going to go back to our slides just to give us some more context. Is demand and supply the same as support and resistance? No, demand and supply is not the same as support and resistance. So demand and supply I see it as an upgraded version of support and resistance. It's more precise. It offers better risk to reward moves, faster moves, things like that. I personally prefer supply and demand to support and resistance. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so real quick, let's go back to our charts. Okay, so I hope what I just explained gives you some context on what exactly it is we're looking at whenever we look at gold. Now, the next question is, how do you make money from gold, right? Because remember, at the beginning of the session, I mentioned that I believe the financial markets can be used as an instrument to get into financial freedom, right? So the question is, how do you make money from gold? You can literally turn gold into a source of income for yourself. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand is you need to understand the key factors that affect gold, which is literally what we just saw, which is literally what we just went through. The key factors that affect gold, we just went through that, okay? If you did not understand what I said, please go and rewatch this video. So this is how you make money from gold. Number one, understand the key factors that affect the instrument called gold, okay? Then, secondly, you need a trading strategy. So you need to have a trading strategy. You need to have an approach to the markets. Whatever approach it is that you use, there is 1,000 of approaches that you can use to attack the markets. You just need to have a strategy. Then, next thing is you need to have good entry and exit criteria. Why exactly would you take a trade? Why exactly are you going to exit the trade that you have taken? You need to have those listed out, right? And then you need to backtest. Listen, I cannot even overemphasize the importance of backtesting. Like, backtesting is actually a lot of work. Like, I spent the last backtesting I did was a couple of weeks ago because I've been really busy for the last few weeks. But a couple of weeks ago, I did a critical backtesting on US 30, and that took me 4 hours to backtest, right? However, the thing I was backtesting was like a bit in depth. It's like a new approach that I'm trying to develop for US 30, but you need to backtest is my point, right? And then you need to have your trading plan. So backtesting, the data you get from backtesting, because you're not just backtesting to understand, like you need to collect information, is research. So you need to collect information about the thing you're backtesting so that you can use that information to formulate your trading plan. You can have generic trading plans, but you need to have, you need to go in depth, okay? You need to go in depth. I have a few questions in the chat. Do you use fib retracements to know the levels where the market might retrace to? I don't anymore. I stopped using fibs in the beginning of last year. It was just a lot for me to handle, but I understand fibs, and many a times you can actually identify those levels that fib, like the 23.7, 61.8, 50%, and 81.6 or something like that. Those levels can be identified off of zones like we just looked at, right? If I draw a fib over those zones I just drew for you, you will literally see that those zones actually align with the fib levels as well. So it's like, why do you really need the fib? I'm just saying, like, for me personally, I don't use fib retracements, but the price is going to retrace anyways. The question is, where is it going to retrace to? I use previous levels of support and resistance or supply and demand to identify those levels, wait for price to tell me it is time to take a trade, and then take a trade. Simple and sweet. Okay. I spent 1 hour backtesting. Is that bad? It's not bad. Not at all. You should backtest. Like every weekend, you have to review what you're doing, okay? That's where the main work as a trader comes into play. Let me just check our YouTube real quick. Do you teach from scratch? Yes, I teach from scratch. Yes, and I'm actually going to go into that shortly. Because of the time limit on our on our master classes, I'm not able to like go into every single nitty-gritty that's required. That's going to take a lot of time, right? So I definitely teach from scratch, and that's going to be happening in 10 days on our 21 days intensive bootcamp/mentorship program. There's a reason that name is long, okay? It's deliberate, and I'll explain that shortly. Can we also have the current market structure based off of the 1 hour time frame? Yes. I will actually look into that for you. Do you think prop firm is useful? Yeah, if you know how to trade. Before you before you get a prop firm account, you better have a proven strategy, proven results, and then you amplify that using funding from prop firms. So you need to prove to yourself that you can actually trade, you can actually turn your skills into money before you go into prop firms. If not, you're just going to go down a very bad rabbit hole of buying account after account after account, right? Okay. Okay, so let's just look real quick at the current price action on gold, right? I'm just going to clean up a bit. So gold is kind of chilling right now. We actually had some sells between last week and this week, right? Some buys and sells this week actually. So I'm looking at the big picture. What exactly it is I'm looking at for gold is, because remember that on the daily time frame we are in an uptrend, And this is the 4-hour time frame right now. The 4-hour time frame is creating bearish market structure, right? This is why it's important for you to understand the different trends on different time frames. 4-hour time frame is creating bearish market structure. However, we have a level of support that price keeps rejecting off of, right? And then we have an area of supply that price actually sold from this week, right? So we actually stayed in between this zone throughout this week. The next question is, what are we doing next, right? So we need to also look at, Forex Factory to see the fundamentals that's going to be printed for this week. But off of this time frame, I would really like price to get out of this zone, give me like a clean break and retest to continue to the downside. That's the first thing I would look for. Then I would look for price to come down because this is a daily zone, right? Because remember, I told you my daily zones are marked with this horizontal red line. So I'll look for price to come down here, give me some form of bullish price action, continue upwards or continue downwards. Whatever price wants to do, it's going to do, but I'm just going to react. I'm not predicting. Very important to note. Okay, so this is first scenario, second scenario, third scenario. Like I usually have multiple scenarios, right? Because you can't just like focus on like one scenario. You have to give yourself room to adjust to whatever the market is actually going to give you, right? That's an important thing to note as a trader. So this is the third scenario and the fourth scenario that I'm looking at for this week. So I just need price to get out of this box, okay, on the 4-hour time frame, and then print something clean for me to take advantage of. So I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Hi, Eva. Opara here.
Hello. Hi, Opara. How are you?
I'm fine. And you?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. I have a quick question.
Mhm.
What time frame do you need to use to enter into any trade? Is it the 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 15? Which one works better? And
That's
another
it.
question.
Okay.
Oh, another question is that when you come down from the daily time frame, after marking out your daily time frame, the area of interest, then do you need to mark for the 4 hours and the 15 minutes? Do you need to mark all of them before going into the trade? Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so that is a good question. So for your first question, what time frame do you want to enter from? That's a very relative question. So it depends on a few things, right? So remember how I told you we have long-term trend, short-term trend, medium-term trend. So for example, this kind of move now, we understand that even if the daily time frame is bullish, the 4-hour time frame is bearish. So this move that I'm looking for, if price is actually going to break and retest this move, I am going to remain on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frame because I already know that the daily time frame is bullish, right? So I will remain on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frame. Regarding the entries, it depends on the kind of entry I'm looking for. It depends on price action that is printed in that very moment. So usually for gold, I would usually look for entries off of 30 minutes, 1 hour for gold specifically. But again, it's very relative to the type of move I'm looking for. If I was going to look for kind of like a higher position, like off of the daily time frame, I'll be looking for the 4-hour time frame to confirm to me that it's time to actually buy, right? So this move that I'm looking for, if price is actually going to sell down to the support zone, I would actually be on the 1 hour, 30 minute, or even the 15 minutes to let me know that it's actually time to sell, right? Because it's going to be like a short move that I'm looking for. I hope that answers your first question. Then second question, I think you mentioned, do you need to draw the zones on all time frames? It depends on the type of trader you are, and also depends on your strategy as well, right? So if I was a swing trader, I would not be going down to the 15-minute or 5-minute or even the 30-minute to draw zones, right? If I'm just looking for a quick move, like I just mentioned, I will be drawing zones on those lower time frames. Do you understand what I mean? So it depends on the type of move that you're looking for. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so more questions. Okay, we have a lot of questions. Let me try and get through them real quick. Please, how do I get this playbook you talked about? It's on our website. It's titled the CN Bundle, okay? You should take advantage of it because I literally listed out different plays for different market conditions. You should take advantage of it. As a trader, how many trades do you take per day? It depends on the type of trader you are, but I personally take a maximum of 2 trades per day. If I'm looking for like kind of like quick positions or intraday positions, it's a max of 2 trades a day. If I'm trading, if I'm taking swing trades, I don't have a limit, or I don't have a max or a limit because those swing trades don't happen all the time. But if I'm scalping or intraday, max of 2. Do we necessarily need to have a prep account, or can we start trading with as little as $5K using a live account after having backtested my strategy? Which prop firm do you recommend for those in Canada? Which broker/type of accounts do you recommend for those of us in Canada? That's a good question. So first question, do we necessarily need to do prop firm accounts, or can we start trading with as little as $5K? First of all, Emmanuel, I believe you're in Canada. You're saying 5K is little, but if you ask the next trader, they will tell you 5K is not little. 5K is actually huge, first thing you should note. And you don't have to trade prop firm accounts. Prop firm accounts is for those that want to either amplify their profits or test out their skills. You literally can just like disregard prop firm accounts if you have the capital, right? Prop firm accounts for those that maybe don't have the capital like you with your little $5K, $5,000, like that's not little, okay? But yeah, you can trade with. You can actually make a good income from $5,000, believe me. I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, so after backtesting your strategy, yes, you can. That is a good amount of money to start with. Which prop firm do you recommend for us in Canada? The only prop firm I'm recommending right now is FTMO. That's the only prop firm I'm recommending, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of regulation happening in the US and stuff like that. So that's the only prop firm I'm actually recommending to people. Which broker/type of accounts do you recommend for us in Canada? So the broker, I would tell you to do research because you have to do your due diligence. You can't just take my word for it or anyone's word for it, right? Do your research, but you should just research for regulated brokers that are located in Canada, right? You can literally just Google regulated brokers in Canada. One of them is Oanda, like I mentioned earlier. Oanda, it's a good broker, so you can check them out. What's the best trading session for gold? Oh, that's a good question. Trading session for gold is fun fact, gold actually moves in all the sessions. It may have a bit more volume in London and New York session, but gold actually moves even during Asian session, which is something I've noticed. So that's another reason why I love gold. Okay. When you open your chart and want to take a trade, what 3 questions do you ask yourself while making your analysis? That's okay. 3 questions. Number 1, what is the higher time frame doing? Number 2, what's the fundamental for today? So I check forexfactory.com. Personally, I'm not big on fundamentals like that. But if we have some form of fundamentals, I would wait for that to clear up before I place a trade. That's the 2nd question. And 3rd question is, what's the lower time frames doing? Is it time to take the trade yet? So I hope that answers your question. How do you calculate your position size on gold? That is that's a good question. So you can do it manually or you can do it automatically. You can use the measuring tool to measure oops. You can use it, measuring tool to measure, and then this will tell you the number of pips that you're aiming for, right? So you should basically place your position sizing based off of your SL, the amount of SL, the amount of money you want to risk, right? Then you can turn that into dollars by doing your calculation. So lot size multiplied by 10 multiplied by your SL in pips. That's the math. However, I personally no longer do that math anymore because I use my magic keys. Literally, this thing has saved me. This thing has saved. This is not like a marketing thing. I'm just telling you what I do on a daily basis. This is my magic keys, and I basically just I configure it to only risk a certain percentage of my account. So the magic keys actually does all the math for me, and I just like press open trade. Right? So yeah, you should explore that option. Okay, so let's just move on, then I'll come back to the questions. You guys are very eager today. I love it. I love it for you all. I love it. It's middle of the year and you should be making money from trading. Okay, so let's just continue. Okay, so let's just continue, right? So you need to backtest is the point. You absolutely have to backtest. Okay, so remember how I said companies actually put a significant amount of money towards R&D, research and development. You as a trader, you need to put a significant amount of time into backtesting, right? Even if we got into trading based off of the notion that trading is simple, stress-free, you can trade on a beach. The truth is not yet. Not yet. You have to put in a lot of work into it. You have to backtest, you have to create your plan, create your playbook for different market conditions, then prove to yourself that what you have created actually works before you go to the beach to sip some pina coladas while you're trading, right? Yeah, but you have to treat trading as a business, right? You have to treat trading as a business. Okay, so the questions in the chat, I will actually come back to these questions, okay? So now the question is, this is how you make money from XAUSD, from gold versus the US dollar, right? So now the main question is, how do you come up with a strategy? How do you identify your entry and exit criteria? Because remember, even if I tell you, okay, my strategy is breakout, that's not going to mean anything to you until you understand what it is like I'm actually looking for. There's multiple questions you have to answer. The questions you guys are asking me, those are the questions you have to answer for yourself for the strategy that you're using, right? What time frame? What do you do when the market does this? What do you do when the market does that? Like, it varies, right? It appears in different shapes and forms. All the strategies, like they appear in different shapes and forms. Even if it's like a breakout strategy, it's not going to be exactly the same all the time. So you need to know what to do in multiple scenarios, right? And again, entry and exit criteria, like what do you do, right? So that's where backtesting comes into play, for you to understand what it is that you're trading, right? Now, it is a lot of information because we're already at 1 hour in our masterclass for today, right? I should let you guys go and I'll do that soon. But this is a lot of work to actually, do in such a short period of time. That is why the intensive mentorship program was created, right? So in 10 days, we're actually commencing our 21 days intensive bootcamp / mentorship program. Now I'll explain to you why it's named that long name, okay? So number one, the 21 days is so that we can cover literally everything that you need. All these questions that you guys are asking me, everything will be covered in our bootcamp, every single thing. I will give you the strategy, show you how it appears on different time frames, different intricacies, different shapes, sizes, forms. Everything's going to be treated. That's why it's going to last for 21 days, right? Then the second thing is the intensive. So it's going to be very intensive because we are going to cover everything, all time frames. We're going to cover our major instruments, which are the currencies, gold, indices, right? We're literally going to have classes dedicated to take care of currencies, dedicated to take care of indices, dedicated to take care of gold. What we just dealt with right now is like literally just a tip of the iceberg because of our time, right? But we're going to have literal classes dedicated to each of the instruments that we trade. Okay, so it's going to be very, very intensive. And it's a bootcamp / mentorship. So for the mentorship aspect, that basically means that even after the 21 days, I'm not just going to like let you guys go. We're going to have continuous mentorship. So it's more like a life, I should name it like a lifetime thing, but it is a lifetime thing, right? Continuous assistance. We're going to be having weekly market reviews even after the bootcamp, right? So it's going to be very, 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 very intensive. It's like a hand-holding process because we need it, right? Yeah, so it's going to be very, very intensive. So that is actually going to be starting on the 11th of June, which is in 10 days. We have people that have already registered. They're in the group chat, just waiting for the date to start and be commenced. Our platform is ready. Our course schedule is ready. The course calendar, the notes, everything has been uploaded. I'm going to be sending them a couple of emails this week, but everything is ready for our bootcamp. So it's going to take from novice to the CPT, as CPT is a constant profitable trader, right? So what exactly is going to be included? So we're going to be starting from scratch. Like, I mean, scratch, like how to count pips, scratch. What is Forex, scratch? That's where we're going to be starting from. We're going to look through pre-psychology. So this basically answers that question. Someone asked me if I teach from scratch. So yes, I do. And that's going to be starting in 10 days, okay? So you don't want to miss it. It's going to be so intensive. We look at technical analysis, fundamental analysis, trading strategies, playbook guide, backtesting workbook, account management, journaling process, post-psychology, proper and passing strategy. We're actually going to have one-on-one sessions, post-mentorship guidance. One-on-one sessions, I'm actually looking forward to this one because every single student that we're going to be having during this bootcamp is going to have a one-on-one session with me. Now, the bootcamp is live classes, right? It's going to all be live classes. However, you and I, like each student and I, is going to have like a one-on-one session, like a private one-on-one session. We're going to have a conversation for me to better understand your way of life, for me to understand what exactly it is you need, because trading is not one size fits all. Now, we have some basics that help people. However, it's not one size fits all. That means that what works for me might be the exact thing that doesn't work for you. And that is okay. That is okay, right? But we're going to have a one-on-one session, you and I, so that you can actually have a tailored strategy, a tailored trading style for yourself, okay? Yes, so it's literally going to be everything that you need. And again, remember, it's going to cover everything, right? And it's not just going to be for 21 days. It's literally a lifetime thing. Okay, so you're joining Chart Nation FX family. You're like, we're one, if you get what I mean. Okay, so moving on. Again, like I mentioned, it's 30 people only. However, right now we still have a few slots left. We still have a few slots left. Okay, so if you are interested, after this class, we're going to send you an email for you to register. So this is the original price, right? Because it is going to be very, very intensive, right? It's going to be a lot of work, and it's a lifetime thing, technically. So the price has been slashed down, down, and down to $9.97. Okay, this is literally nothing. It has been slashed down to $9.97 for you guys to take advantage of, right? So you can go to our website, chartnationfx.com, or we'll send you the link directly after this masterclass, and we will, so you can register. Everything is actually ready. I'm literally just like waiting, like I can't even wait. It's June 1st, like June 11th needs to come so I can dish out this knowledge to you guys, because Trading has to be your source of income before the year runs out, okay? Okay, so all right, let me check the chat. We have a few questions. Which platform do you use to backtest? I use TradingView. I keep it simple and sweet. How can I register for the masterclass and how much is it? So this is the current price of the masterclass, $9.97. If you want to join the bootcamp, the link will be sent to you in your email after this class, along with the link of this to rewatch the masterclass. However, you can also go to our website. It's literally just on our website, chartnationfx.com, for you to register. Okay, let's see. Can I pay in installments? Is there an option for someone like me in Canada? Yes, send me a DM on Instagram, and so we can see what we can put together for you. Please, how does Magic Keys work? So this is Magic Keys right here. Again, this is not an advertisement. This is just the one that I use. It's called an expert advisor, EA, right? It's a form of EA, and it just helps you like navigate your risk in the market. Personally, I literally just use only two buttons, the open calc button and the open trade button. When I press open calc, it shows me two lines. So the line to place my SL and the line to place my target, right? Once I have those set, then I press open trade and the trade is ready. The thing already calculates my risk for me, right? So yeah. If you were to trade before news, you close the trade earlier before news and reposition or leave the trade running. It depends on the type of news, it depends on the type of trade. For example, if you're in a scalp position and your SL is tight, you should probably not be in a trade because news usually comes with a lot of volatility, right? So you have the high potential of getting stopped out. So personally, I like to just wait until after news before I place my trade. And even if the trade leaves without me, I'm okay with it, right? Because even usually it would like wick down, wick up, wick down before then shoots it like a direction. So in the weekend down and up, it has a potential of literally kicking you out of your trade, right? These are my strategies to trade during the week, and I took 26 trades. Whoa, 26 trades in 1 week. Okay, that's a lot of trades personally, but do whatever works for you, okay? I lost 6, so total of 20 works. What do you think? What do I think? Personally, for me, that's a lot of trades, but I don't know what your strategy is. It's okay. If that's working for you, it's okay. But remember that you have to prove to yourself that it's working for you. Even if it works for you in 1 week, the question is this going to work on the long run? You have to think of the big picture. Is this going to work next month, in December, in January, right? But that's a lot of trades to take in 1 week, honestly. Just try to like fine tune your strategy. The 6 trades that did not work, review those trades to see why they did not work. And the 20 trades that worked, understand how you can fine tune and reduce that number because that's a lot of work. Can you add more days to the one-on-one session? Do you mean the private one-on-one session or the one-on-one session during the bootcamp? Right? Because the one-on-one session during the bootcamp is going to be, more intensive, but the private one-on-one session that I offer, that's completely different. Okay. Yes. So for those that are interested in joining our bootcamp, you really should, right? Because it is a lot of work for you and I, but we have to put in the work to get the results that we desire. Okay. Let me check our YouTube real quick to see. Okay. We have a few questions on YouTube. As a swing trader, the best time frame is the daily time frame. The 4-hour time frame is cool, but daily time frame, okay? How long does prep challenges take? Well, prep challenges, it depends on the prep firm, right? Different prep firms, they have their different parameters and all of that. But there's a minimum number of days of usually like 5 days, I believe. Some prep firms don't have a minimum number of days. Yeah, so it just depends on the prep firm. Which broker do you use? You need to check for a regulated broker that's in your own country. In my own country, Oanda is regulated, and that's the broker that I'm registered with. Okay, so any more questions before we call it a day at this point? So again, we are active on social media. We are very, very active on social media. Instagram, Chart Nation FX, YouTube, Chart Nation FX, TikTok, Chart Nation _Nation FX, LinkedIn, Oreva Ogene Omatushan or Oreva Omatushan. Okay, so you should follow us, like our posts, and follow for more trading tips and updates. Okay, so our bootcamp is starting in 10 days. I'm super, super duper duper excited. Super excited. The schedule has been posted. Welcome emails have been sent out. We still have a few slots left, so you should register, okay, before we close it down. One last question. How do you do those things? What things? What things? Let me know. Yeah, so register for our bootcamp, okay? So it's going to start in 10 days and it's going to be super duper comprehensive. So what will be the bootcamp timing? So first of all of the classes are going to be recorded for the bootcamp, okay? It's going to be, it's 21 days, but we're not going to have classes every single day because I feel like that's going to be a lot of work for everyone, okay? So it's going to be a couple times a week, I believe 4 days a week, usually in the evenings, Eastern Standard Time, right? But send me a DM if you have any questions about the bootcamp. Chart Nation FX is our Instagram handle, and we'll answer in a timely manner. Okay. All right, so any last questions? I hope our tea today was very helpful to you guys, and I hope you guys will use this to make some money this week. Remember to keep your trading simple, okay? The motto here at Chart Nation is where simplicity meets precision. We keep things simple, but we're also precise, right? Simple and precise, okay? So, yeah, since if there are no other questions, we are just going to call it a day at this point. Stop share. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's my absolute pleasure. You know, trading is one of my passions, so I literally don't mind. I can just like sit here all day long and talk about trading, and I won't mind, honestly, but I shouldn't do that because you guys have your lives to take care of. So, yeah, so you can actually rewatch this on our YouTube channel, Chart Nation FX, okay? Rewatch on our YouTube channel, Chart Nation FX. If you joined late, go rewatch on our YouTube channel, okay? So have a blessed weekend and a beautiful week and month ahead. Happy new month, by the way. It's June 1st. So for our bootcamp students, watch out in your emails. You receive an email this week for some more instructions and updates, okay? Yes, I hope so too, Emmanuel. Send me a DM on Instagram, Emmanuel, regarding the bootcamp and all of that, okay? All right, so have a blessed weekend, everyone, and I'll see you guys in our next masterclass or on Instagram, okay? Take care. Bye.